Hi, I'm Karin.
And I'm Elise,
Welcome back to Poodle, people.
where we talk about all things poodles.
Just a gentle reminder, we are not veterinarians or licensed professionals. We are just passionate poodle people.
Hey, Elise. How are you
Karin.
and Winnie?
Hi, Karin. We are Peachy Keen. How are you and your crew?
We are doing good. We're having nice dry weather, which is always good when you have a litter of puppies.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard when they're adults and running around. I can't imagine having 6 little munchkins cruising around,
We
exploring
actually
rain.
we had a big milestone to this week. Um, they followed me out and crossed the back door threshold and then the mat and then went down the steps.
Oh, that's
And
exciting.
yeah, and used the big backyard as their bathroom rather than the whelping box. So I'm super excited about that.
Ooh, we love a little potty training action
Yes,
happening there.
yes. It was a huge milestone. There are still two of them that get a little bit nervous right before they cross so the way my back door is set up, there is a heating grate, an HVAC thing
Yeah.
right in front of the door. So they actually have to cross that, which is a little weird to them, and then the threshold, and then the mat. So they're getting a lot of exposures in one little thing. Um, but they are now going in and out with everyone else, which is lovely.
That's so exciting. Oh my gosh. How old are they now? Are they 5 weeks or
They
6?
are they are 5 weeks, I think. I hope.
Oh.
And and tonight they are going to be bathed, and my friend Kristen is coming over tomorrow to help me get headshots of everyone because I still have a few puppies left that need to find their homes.
Oh. Oh.
So it'll be a lot of fun getting pictures of them tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Well, and like for your new parents that already have them. I remember when I got Winnie, like I loved getting updates and
Yeah,
pictures of her. It's super fun.
absolutely. I only have a real name for one of them. The rest I'm still using collar names, but
Okay.
my friends at work have named the little black boy Tank,
Oh,
uh, which is a perfect name for him.
he, from the videos and pictures I've seen on your socials and what you've sent me, he is a little tank. So I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, he's a tank.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Are they I know last time we talked they were already kind of trying to climb out of the whelping box and do things like that. Have they overrun your house yet? Are you chasing puppies left and right? They getting all
Well,
curious?
the weather has really cooperated, so I take them out in the morning, at lunch, and then sometimes twice at night. So they really are still small enough that that much exercise tires them out. And like for instance, right now they are sleeping in the whelping box because we've just come in.
Oh.
So because it's dry and very nice out, I really can take them out quite a bit, and that helps keep them. Um, it's easier to contain them in the whelping box. If we were inside all of the time, they would be busting out at the seams.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I just had the one at 8 weeks and she was enough. I can't imagine 6 at any age. That's so many. So many to contain and keep your eyes on.
Yeah. The other day we had chicken hawks circling the backyard. So I have
Oh,
been furiously counting. I'm like, do I have six? Do I still have six? Um,
yeah.
so there are always things that, you have to be thinking about.
Yeah,
Um,
we can't have chicken hawks
mm,
scooping up any puppies.
yeah, I don't know if the word went out, amongst the birds. Oh, she's got puppies.
Yeah.
Um, but there were a bunch of chicken hawks circling, so
Oh,
I've been a little paranoid about counting them.
fair enough. I guess you'll get to just dress up as a scarecrow and sit outside and scare them off. I don't
I don't know.
be another stimuli for the puppies. What is this
Yeah.
thing? It's It's mom dressed
Yeah.
as a scarecrow. Oh man. Well, that's exciting though. And I mean, them getting outside exposure is such a big deal. It's,
Yeah.
um and different textures and stuff and going over thresholds and like different mats and things. Winnie, I know is Winnie's kind of a weenie when it comes to like certain floorings and things like that. She can kind of be a little apprehensive. So I'm glad you're able to expose them to, different things from such a early
Yeah.
age. That's so good for them.
They are almost making it all the way around the yard, but not quite. So, at least my yard. It's about a half acre. And they haven't made it to the absolute far end, the furthest end of the yard, but they have certainly made it pretty far and they've done circles. So, another day or two, and they'll be cruising around the yard, no problem. And that's really fun to see.
Oh, I love that. I'm happy for
Yeah.
you.
So today, our listeners are going to have a special treat because we've recorded a segment in which Elise talks about you, Elise. You
Yes,
talk
me.
about, sorry, you talk about your decision to get a poodle. And I just love listening to this because it brings me back to the beginning of our friendship before COVID, which simultaneously seems like yesterday and 1,000 years ago, the way that COVID time has been warped. But it's really wonderful to listen to you talk about your decision to get a poodle and to remind me of some of the things that were new to both of us in our friendship.
Oh yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope everybody else does too. I think it's compelling, but it's also, my pride and joy, Winnie Poodle over here.
Yeah, as she should be.
Some.
So let's take a listen.
So when I was looking for a dog, I had graduated college, moved out on my own, like really on my own for the first time, my first time living by myself. I'd moved to a new state, started a new job. I'd been working that job for a little while, and after a couple years of doing that, I got to where I was like, I really would like a companion. I want something to come home to. I want like kind of a side project, if you will. I'd grown up with dogs. I'd always wanted my own dog. I just wanted a companion to kind of have little adventures with. So in that companion, I was thinking I really wanted something fun to train. My parents growing up, we had some really independent type dogs that the type to take your suggestion and think it's nice and, not listen. So I wanted something that was fun to train, that wanted to work with me. I wanted something smart. I wanted something athletic, versatile. So, they could hang out with me on the couch as I binge my Netflix, but also go on, up for any kind of adventure, those kinds of things. And I actually liked the idea of a doodle at first, believe it or not. I didn't know anything about poodles beyond like the continental show cut and that they were like water dogs of some sort. And I went and I did a lot of research and I learned about what traits I liked about a doodle. And I thought I may as well go for a full poodle, especially like for the hair maintenance. Poodles only have the one layer of hair instead of the double coat, so less matting, less maintenance overall. And a mutual friend of mine and Karin shared her contact information. We connected. I eventually met Karin and her dogs, Elizabeth, Bennett, and Full of Grace, which you will hear referred to as Liz and Grace on this podcast many times. And I really enjoyed meeting them, and I loved meeting their personalities. And Karin will tell you, they are different personalities, but I really enjoyed seeing kind of the variety there. And I was sold on a poodle after meeting them and hearing stories from Karin, just how positively this breed has impacted her life. Not even just these two dogs, but her previous two dogs, just hearing about how much she loved them and enjoyed them and how much they meant to her. It sold me on the idea of a poodle. So after meeting Karin in real life, I did even more research on the versatility and athleticism of poodles, and I learned even more about how trainable and fun they can be as sport dogs. And I just became obsessed. I loved the haircuts, I liked the sports, the intelligence, literally everything about them fit my lifestyle. So I was really excited about it, and I loved the idea of learning how to groom a poodle. I kind of committed to the idea that I was going to groom my poodle myself and just learn how to do that ahead of time. So that kind of cut down on, I need to find a groomer. It also, I got Winnie during COVID, so I kind of had to learn how to groom her. There was not really much of an option, but I found myself looking at litters on like the AKC marketplace and stuff like that, and I was so nervous about taking the plunge, and I knew I'd wanted a puppy, and I'd kind of planned it out. This is February of 2020 at this point. I knew that I was going to get a dog. I just had to pick one. Like, there was nothing in my way anymore. And I happened to come across Winnie's breeder, and I saw Winnie's little face on her website and a short little bio about Winnie's budding personality, and I knew I had to snap her up before somebody else did. It was one of those things where I looked at that dog's face on her website, and I knew she was the one for me. So I called a breeder up, put my deposit in, talked to her. We kept in touch over the next 4 weeks. Winnie was only 4 weeks old when I saw her face, so I picked her up at 8 weeks old. She actually came home Friday the 13th of 2020. That's an ominous date. But it's been a wild ride ever since. Puppies are a lot of work, and they come with a lot of ups and downs, way more than I think I'd originally mentally prepared for. But putting in that work has just made it so rewarding. Winnie's 3 now. We've been through a couple moves. She's been through a lot of haircuts, I can tell you that. And we've just gone on so many little adventures and met so many fun people, and really, I've really been able to explore what a partnership in an animal can be because of this dog, because of how much fun she is to train and how many sports we've been able to, get her feet wet in and try. It's just been a really, really rewarding experience for me. And I am forever grateful that I met Karin and her poodles, because this has completely changed my life.
Hey, Elise, it was so good to listen to that and hear you talk about what you were thinking about when you were getting Winnie.
Well, thank you. Like I said before, I think it's a big step to, like, a big decision to get a dog, and I really wanted to make sure, with this like commitment of several years, I wanted to make sure I was going to feel comfortable with it fitting my lifestyle and being able to adapt to her lifestyle. And I think, as she's grown, we've really been able to make that work, and I'm really happy with my decision, and I hope that we have many good years to come.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because even though we had different things happened and we chose differently, there were a lot of commonalities. I had moved from New York City to Kentucky, and I had rented an apartment for about a year and a half, and I only started thinking about seriously getting being ready to get a dog when I knew I was buying a house that had a fence. And I both had this obviously I've been living alone for a lot longer, but we both waited until our situations were conducive to raising dogs in the way that we wanted to raise them. And
yeah,
I think
that's important.
It is a big commitment for poodles. Any kind of dog takes a lot of time, space, energy. You have to figure out, are you walking your dog every day? Can you let it out in the yard? How is it going to get exercise? How are you going to keep it stimulated? All of those things that go into it and how you will deal with it are important. There are times when I wish I had sidewalks, but I don't. I have cattle farms. So,
That's okay.
everything is...
Listen,
Yeah,
It's all good
everything is
exposure,
different.
right? I
Yep,
don't even think Winnie's, well, I guess she has seen cows. He used to keep her
yep,
for me when we lived out
yep.
there. I was gonna say I don't even think she's seen them. She's
But
seen
she
cows
definitely has.
and horses.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah. The
But
cows come up every morning.
make
Yeah.
sure everybody's still doing okay. Have the puppies seen the cows yet? Have they like
I
checked them
mean,
out?
maybe not really so much because we don't usually go out as early as the cattle kind of make this circular path around their big farm.
Oh
And
yeah.
they're usually up in my corner early in the morning.
Gotcha. Well,
Um,
that'll be an exciting day for them when they
yeah,
realize there's a gigantic dog in the
yeah,
pasture next door.
yeah. So that was really interesting to listen to. I'm so glad you had a chance to put your thoughts down. Um, we do have an exciting segment to close the show today. We have
Yeah.
our first reader question.
Woohoo.
Woohoo! Elise, do you want to recap or even read the question?
Yeah. So our first listener question is from Leah. Thank you, Leah. It
Thank
says,
you.
yeah. It says, "Hi ladies. Loved the first episode and looking forward to more." Oh yay, I'm glad you loved it. My
Yep.
family has fostered and adopted many dogs over the years, so I'd say we have a good sense of different dogs' personalities. We had a miniature poodle when I was young, and he definitely had an attitude. Do you consider poodles to be a headstrong breed, or do you think maybe that had to do with his individual temperament? I haven't met many other miniature poodles, but the standard poodles I have met have all been very friendly. Thank you, Leah. Thanks, Leah. Thanks for
Yeah,
writing
we
in.
yeah, we love getting questions. Um, so what are your thoughts on this, Elise? And then
So,
I'll chime in.
yeah, so I think maybe without having met your miniature poodle, and to be clear, Karen and I haven't had miniature poodles of our own, so we haven't had like personal experience raising them necessarily, but I think with smaller dogs there can definitely be a little bit more of an attitude. I have had small dogs before. They definitely, they will look you up and down, but I think in general poodles, maybe they're headstrong but they're also so wickedly smart, that I think sometimes like maybe that headstrong personality can come across like that, but they're really smart, and if they have an idea of how they want to do something, they'll figure out a way to do it. But
So I had a chance to Google this, and what I found from Googling it also echoed my earlier experiences. So when I was younger, I was friends with people who had toys, not miniatures, and I kind of thought the toys were just yappy doorbells. I was not a fan of them. Um, but I recently was around a mini at a show and I just loved her. I mean, she was a fabulously smart, beautiful dog. Um, so I did check on Google and it does say that the smaller the size, the more high strung they can be, and that standard poodles are the best for families. So for what that is worth, I would agree with my Google search.
gotcha. Yeah, I think the smaller dogs, people tend to get smaller dogs, I think, for families because they think like, oh, it's a small dog, you know, easy to manage, easy to take care of, but they are still a dog, and um, you know, you have to be kind of mindful of that. Like I know people get like little, this is kind of going off topic a little bit, but like little chihuahuas and like tiny things like that, and they kind of like baby them, but they are still a
Mhm.
dog and they should still be treated like a dog.
Right.
I think sometimes it gets lost that like they're a completely different species than us. Because I mean, I like to refer to Winnie as my baby too, but she is still a dog, and she is treated as a dog, but also as a member of the family.
Yeah.
So I think
So,
I think that's cool.
so for anyone who is looking at something other than a standard, I would suggest that you do some more research, talk to more people, and also talk to the breeder to get a better idea of what the personality of your dog or your potential dog might be.
Yeah, because I mean, you're a breeder, Karen. Like, they do kind of maybe model like their parents a little bit, as far as temperament goes. I mean, that's why you're looking at the temperament of the parents, right?
Right. So, I mean, it is something you take into consideration, you know. Um, I think that Elizabeth was probably a little bit too relaxed right now and being pushed over by dogs. Never a dull moment. Was trying to keep that quiet, but couldn't.
It's
Um,
okay.
so I'm losing my train of thought. But yes, the temperament of the parents is always important. And I've been lucky that I have well-tempered dogs that are quite friendly. My pack is sometimes a little bit boisterous, but my dogs individually are really quite good.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Leah, they are a little bit headstrong in that sense, but it also could have been his temperament because everybody's a little bit different. But
Yep.
we appreciate you writing in, and if anyone has any other questions, feel free to send them to us at poodlepeoplepodcast@gmail.com.
If you're interested in my breeding program or are ready to be added to my waiting list, please visit my website at scotchcornerstandardpoodles.com, where you will find all of the relevant information and links. Thanks so much. If you're interested in emailing me or Elise, or if you have any questions you want answered on air, email us at poodlepeoplepodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and remember, a poodle will change your life.